I remember the exact moment I decided I was done playing small. My father's office smelled like old leather and failure. He was leaning back, fingers steepled, eyes on me like I was some joke he was still trying to tolerate. "You'll never be man enough," he said. "Your brother, he's the real man. He'll run this family business. You're a dreamer, nothing more." I smiled, calmly, but inside, a storm was already forming. I could feel it, coiling around my chest. I walked out without a word, but I didn't go home. I walked past the city lights, past the neon hum of life going on around me, and I thought, then I'll build my own empire, and it'll crush yours. It wasn't always this way. I loved this family once. I believed in loyalty. I'd followed my brother, laughed at his bad jokes, carried his successes like they were mine. He was golden, charismatic, charming, and I was overlooked, underestimated, invisible. But the first cracks appeared quietly. Little favors he took for granted, meetings I was excluded from, a contract lost that should have been mine. I blamed chance at first, until the night I found the text messages between my father and him, discussing ways to keep me out, discussing my weaknesses like I wasn't standing right there, breathing. I remember staring at the screen, cold. Betrayal doesn't scream, it whispers, then smothers you. And in that moment, heartbreak sharpened into clarity. I didn't react, I didn't shout, I didn't cry. I made a plan. I started small. Research, networking, leveraging the tiniest gaps they overlooked. I studied every misstep my brother made. Arrogance, laziness, dependence on our father's shadow. I watched their clients, their investors, their weaknesses like a predator mapping escape routes. Every insult, every slight became fuel. Every smirk from my father, every pat on my brother's back became a notch on my strategy. I founded my company in a tiny office across town, under the guise of a minor consultancy. No fanfare, no one watching. I hired quietly, people who respected skill over nepotism. I delivered results, then more results. Slowly, the tide shifted. Clients began asking why they weren't using my firm. Investors started questioning my father's business, quietly, discreetly. And then I hit them where it hurt them most. I outbid, outperformed, and outmaneuvered. Every product launch they announced, I launched better, faster, smarter. Every partnership they celebrated, I had already made stronger deals behind closed doors. My brother didn't see it coming, and my father, he still thought it was luck, timing, fate. The climax came one rainy Thursday. I walked into their headquarters, a meeting scheduled with my father and brother. They didn't know I was the majority shareholder in a crucial client they were desperate to retain. As I entered the room, my father's eyes widened. My brother's smirk faltered. I handed them the contract, signed, sealed, transferred. Their largest account. Mine now. How? My brother stammered, trying to mask panic. I smiled, calm, deliberate. You forgot to count the one person you underestimated. Me. My father's face flushed red, a mix of rage and disbelief. This isn't possible, he said. Possible? I leaned back, letting the words sink. Everything was possible. I just had to stop waiting for permission, stop waiting for recognition, stop listening to people who only saw what they wanted. I watched them scramble, trying to reclaim what they thought was theirs by birthright. My brother's arrogance collapsed under scrutiny. Every mistake I'd quietly documented used to dismantle his credibility. Every investor who had once admired him now questioned him. And my father? He realized his favorites weren't untouchable. He realized I wasn't the failure he'd always assumed. When I left that office, the rain soaking through my coat, I felt light, free. No one applauded, no one cheered, but inside, a quiet victory hummed. Justice isn't loud. It doesn't need witnesses. It needs patience, observation, and precision, and I had all three. That night, I finally allowed myself a smile, genuine, unrestrained. I wasn't the golden son. I wasn't the overlooked one either. I was the one who acted when others slept on their power. I was the architect of my destiny, the one who turned betrayal into triumph. I never gloat. I never need to. But every time I see my father's eyes flicker with the memory of that day, or my brother's forced smile when he mentions my old company, I know I won. Quietly, relentlessly, masterfully. And I will keep winning.